Someone is about to be brought to account, all eyes. Shame will be embarrassing. Pay attention. There are moments in life when the truth quietly finds its own way to the surface, and something about today may have drawn you here for that very reason. You may not have expected this message, yet part of you has been carrying a feeling that certain situations cannot remain hidden forever. Stay with this, because what you are about to hear is not about celebrating someone's embarrassment. It is about understanding what happens when honesty finally becomes impossible to ignore. Perhaps you have spent more time than anyone realizes, questioning yourself while watching other people shape the story around your life. You stayed quiet when speaking would have been easier. You chose patience when proving yourself seemed impossible. Deep inside, there were days when you wondered if anyone truly saw what was happening beneath the surface. That quiet waiting has changed something within you. It has made you stronger without demanding recognition. It has taught you that peace does not always arrive through loud victories. Sometimes it begins when the truth simply stands on its own, requiring no defense at all. There is something important here, because your heart has been learning a lesson that cannot be rushed. Life has an unusual way of placing every person face to face with the results of their own choices. This is not about revenge or public humiliation. It is about accountability arriving with calm certainty. The attention that once seemed focused in the wrong direction slowly begins to shift. People notice details they overlooked before. Conversations become different. Assumptions begin to fade. Those who once spoke too quickly often discover that reality carries far more weight than opinions. If you have been wondering whether sincerity still matters, remember that genuine character is rarely recognized in a single moment. It reveals itself through consistency, patience, and the quiet courage to remain true to yourself, even when no applause is waiting. As you continue listening, allow yourself to release the pressure of trying to control every outcome. You are not responsible for forcing people to understand your journey. The right understanding often arrives when no one expects it, and when it does, it carries a peace that arguments never could. Someone may soon find themselves reflecting on choices they made, not because they were publicly condemned, but because clarity has a way of reaching every heart in its own time. Your role is not to celebrate that moment. Your role is to continue becoming the person you were always meant to be. Don't miss what comes next, because the next part reveals why silent seasons often prepare us for the deepest moments of understanding. A quiet realization often begins long before anyone speaks a single word, and that may be exactly what is unfolding now. The atmosphere around certain relationships, conversations, or memories starts to feel different without any obvious explanation. You may sense that people are seeing situations with fresh eyes, noticing things they once ignored because they were distracted by louder voices or quick conclusions. Stay with this, because some of the most meaningful changes happen so gently that they are almost invisible until you look back and see how far everything has shifted. There may have been a time when you felt overlooked while others seemed completely confident in the stories they believed. That experience can leave deep questions inside a person. You wonder whether kindness is worth it, whether patience has any value, or whether remaining true to yourself simply means being forgotten. Yet every season of quiet endurance shapes your character in ways that immediate success never could. The calm strength you carry today did not appear overnight. It was formed through moments when you chose understanding instead of resentment, reflection instead of reaction, and hope instead of discouragement. That inner growth is becoming visible, not because you are trying to prove anything, but because authenticity naturally reveals itself over time. Meanwhile, someone else may begin facing a different kind of reflection, not one created by harsh judgment or public criticism, but by the simple weight of honesty. There are moments when people recognize the impact of their own decisions without anyone needing to accuse them. They notice expressions they once overlooked, conversations they dismissed, and opportunities they allowed to pass by. That realization can feel deeply humbling, yet it also creates room for wisdom and personal change. There is something important here. Real accountability is not about shame. It is about understanding, learning, and allowing truth to become the beginning of a better path instead of the end of one. As this chapter continues to unfold, resist the temptation to measure your value by other people's opinions. Your peace has never depended on winning every argument or receiving instant recognition. It grows from knowing who you are, even when others are still catching up to that understanding. Sometimes life quietly rearranges perspectives until everyone can finally see what was present all along. When that happens, your greatest response is not pride, but quiet confidence and compassion. Don't miss what comes next, because the next part uncovers why unexpected moments of clarity often transform more than one heart at the same time. Sometimes the turning point arrives without an announcement, and everything begins to change through small moments that almost seem ordinary. A conversation sounds different. A familiar face pauses before speaking. Someone who once seemed certain suddenly becomes thoughtful. These quiet shifts are easy to overlook, yet they often reveal that understanding is beginning to replace assumption. Stay with this, because what appears to be a simple change in perspective can become the beginning of lasting peace for everyone involved. You have carried questions that never found immediate answers. There were days when you wondered why your sincerity was misunderstood, or why your silence was mistaken for weakness. Yet every experience was shaping a steadier version of you. Instead of becoming bitter, you learned to listen more carefully. Instead of allowing disappointment to define your future, you continued moving forward one step at a time. That quiet resilience has become one of your greatest strengths. People often recognize confidence, but they rarely notice the patience that created it. Now, without forcing anything, the qualities that once went unseen are beginning to speak louder than words ever could. There's something important here, because genuine character is always revealed through time, not performance. At the same time, another person may be looking at the past from a completely different place than before. Reflection has a way of softening certainty and opening the heart to truths that were once ignored. They may remember moments they misunderstood, conversations they judged too quickly, or kindness they failed to appreciate. This is not about watching someone feel embarrassed. It is about witnessing the quiet humility that comes when a person recognizes their own part in a story. That realization can become the foundation for healing, wisdom, and a deeper respect for others. In many ways, accountability is not a punishment. It is an invitation to grow beyond yesterday's perspective. As you move forward, let your heart remain calm rather than anxious for outcomes you cannot control. The unseen work taking place around you does not require constant attention. Continue choosing honesty, kindness, and quiet confidence, even if the full picture has not yet become clear. Some of the most meaningful moments in life happen when you stop chasing recognition and simply continue living with integrity. The peace you have been searching for grows stronger with every faithful step, and what comes next will reveal why this season has been preparing you for a deeper understanding than you ever expected. There comes a moment when silence no longer feels empty because you begin to recognize how much has been happening beneath the surface. What once appeared unchanged has actually been moving little by little, almost like the first light of morning that slowly fills the sky before anyone notices. If you have felt that something was quietly shifting around you, trust that feeling without rushing to define it. Don't miss what comes next, because the most meaningful answers rarely arrive all at once. They unfold gently, allowing your heart to receive them with wisdom instead of excitement alone. You may soon notice that the atmosphere around certain people feels different. Conversations become more honest. Defensiveness begins to disappear. Those who once formed quick opinions may now choose to listen before speaking. This is how genuine understanding often begins. It is not loud, dramatic, or filled with conflict. It is simply the quiet moment when people become willing to see beyond appearances. If someone feels uncomfortable, it is not because they are being publicly shamed. It is because self-awareness has a unique way of inviting humility. That quiet realization can become one of life's greatest teachers, leading a person toward maturity, compassion, and a deeper appreciation for truth. As for you, remember that your greatest victory has never been convincing everyone that you were right. Your greatest victory is becoming someone whose peace cannot be shaken by changing opinions. The waiting, the uncertainty, and even the misunderstandings have shaped a steadiness within you that many people never develop. You no longer need constant approval to know your worth. You no longer need every question answered immediately to keep moving forward. There is something important here. The strongest people are often those who have learned to remain kind while life was still writing the final chapter of their story. Take this message with a calm heart and let it remind you that every person is growing in their own season. Some are learning to trust themselves. Others are learning to admit what they overlooked. And you are learning that patience is never wasted when it is joined with sincerity and hope. Continue walking with quiet confidence, allowing your actions to reflect the person you are becoming rather than the opinions left behind. The final part will bring everything together and reveal why this journey has always been leading toward clarity, peace, and a deeper understanding of your own path.